You know this feeling. Everything is technically fine. You have food, you have a roof. Nobody is chasing you, and yet getting out of bed feels like lifting a building. Not tired, not sick, just heavy. A fog with no obvious source. Most people think this is a modern problem, a side effect of screens and stress and the way we live now. But that is wrong. Depression is not a modern invention. It is one of the oldest experiences in human history. And understanding where it came from will change how you think about it forever. The oldest written description of what we'd recognize as depression comes from ancient Mesopotamia. Around 2000 BCE, Babylonian texts described a condition they called the hand of the ghost. Overwhelming sadness, withdrawal from life, inability to eat or sleep. They believed evil spirits had entered the body. They were wrong about the cause, but the description of the symptoms was exactly right. The Greek physician Hippocrates gave it a name around 400 BCE. He called it melancholia, from the Greek words for black and bile. He believed too much black bile traveled to the brain and darkened the mood. He was wrong about the mechanism, but he was right about something far more important. This was a physical condition, not a moral failure, not a punishment from the gods. That was a radical idea. Most people at the time believed mental suffering meant the gods were angry with you. Hippocrates said, "No, this is biology." He even described different types: melancholia with fear, melancholia with sadness, melancholia that came in episodes and lifted. Across multiple civilizations, across thousands of years, humans kept describing the same thing. They just didn't know why it was happening. And here's the question nobody thought to ask until very recently. If depression makes you withdraw, stop eating, and stop engaging with your group, why hasn't evolution eliminated it? Traits that reduce your survival get filtered out over thousands of generations. Depression has been with us for at least 2 million years. That means it survived, which means it must be doing something. In 2009, a psychologist named Paul Andrews published a paper that changed how many researchers think about depression. His theory is called the analytical rumination hypothesis. His argument was this: depression forces you to withdraw from the world. It kills your appetite for distraction. It makes it nearly impossible to think about anything except the problem directly in front of you. Andrews argued this is not a side effect. This is the point. Your brain is forcing you offline until you solve what needs solving: the sadness, the inability to enjoy things, the withdrawal. Those aren't the system failing. Those are the system working exactly as designed. The brain is keeping you in one place, focused on one thing, until you work it out. Andrews wasn't the only researcher rethinking depression from the ground up. An anthropologist named Edward Hagen came at it from a completely different direction. Hagen studied depression in traditional hunter-gatherer societies, and he noticed a pattern. Depression in these communities almost always followed specific triggers: loss, conflict, social exclusion, being trapped in a situation with no way out. These are not random. They all share one feature: your current social situation is not working for you. Hagen's theory: depression is a signal, not just to yourself, to the people around you. In a band of 20 to 50 people, you depend on every member. When one person goes offline, the whole group feels it. And in the ancestral environment, the group responded. They brought resources. They listened. They changed what needed changing. Depression in this framework is a biological negotiation. Your body is going on strike, saying, something in this arrangement needs to change, and I need the people around me to help fix it. Both of these theories share one critical requirement. They only work if the problem is solvable, and they only work if the people around you respond. This is where an ancient system meets the modern world and breaks. In the ancestral environment, your problems were concrete: a conflict with someone in your band of 30 people, a bad hunting season, the death of someone you loved, painful, but finite. Modern depression often has no single solvable problem at its center. It is a sense of wrongness without a source, a feeling of being trapped with no visible walls. And in the modern world, the community response often doesn't come. You don't live in a band of 30 people who notice when you go quiet. You live in a city of millions where your withdrawal is invisible. So the signal fires, and nobody receives it. The ancient program runs, looking for a problem to solve, looking for a community to respond, and finding neither. Because the modern world is the first environment in human history that consistently triggers the system without ever satisfying it. Think about what actually activates depression in the ancestral model: status threat, social comparison, the feeling that your position in the group is unstable. Now look at what the modern world delivers every single day. Every time you open social media, you are running a status comparison against thousands of people simultaneously. Every like and every follower count is a real-time public measure of your social standing. Your brain was not built for that. It was built to track your standing in a group of 50 people you knew personally. And here's the part that makes it worse. Social media looks like connection. It mimics the signal being received. But it doesn't deliver what the system actually needs. No one is sitting beside you. No one has changed the actual situation. So, the system does not resolve. In 2023, the United States Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic. Not because people are physically isolated, but because the quality of connection has collapsed. The average person today reports having fewer close friends than at any point in recorded history. In the ancestral environment, you had people who noticed when you were off before you said a word. Most people today do not have that. And so the signal keeps firing. The program keeps running in a world it was never designed for. This is why modern treatments work the way they do. Therapy recreates the attentive listener. It gives the signal somewhere to go. Exercise triggers the same neurochemical shifts that movement and hunting once provided automatically. Social connection reactivates the community signal. These aren't random discoveries from clinical trials. They are a reconstruction of the conditions your ancient brain was built to operate in. And then there is medication, which works differently from all of this. It addresses the neurochemistry directly. Serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, chemical messengers that regulate mood, energy, and focus. In depression, these systems get stuck. Medication helps unstick them. Not a cure, a correction, allowing the brain to do what it was trying to do all along. Here is what all of this means for the feeling you woke up with. That heaviness, that fog, that sense that something is wrong, but you can't name what. It is not a sign that you are broken. It is a signal from something ancient inside you, something that evolved across 2 million years to protect you, something that still believes in the oldest part of your brain that the people around you will notice and come closer. It was right about that once, and in the right conditions, it still can be. The next mystery nobody talks about is right here.